We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Thursday, or Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I'm sorry. When you're retired, you don't remember what fucking day it is ever. But we're doing a TikTok live. So those are always kind of interesting. We have a lot of people that will be asking questions, making comments. We'll have people on a panel that you hear from regularly. These are always fun to do because we cover a lot of topics and we get a lot of information. So, and like I say, some of the regular folks will be coming up as well. We'll be looking at the situation with Ghislaine Maxwell. This one is particularly troubling. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell was interviewed by Todd Blanche. He is the Deputy Attorney General. Went and talked to Ghislaine Maxwell in secret. Shouldn't have been done that way, but that's what was done. People were worried that Donald Trump and the Trump administration cut some kind of deal with Ghislaine Maxwell. Nothing was reported at first, but then all of a sudden Ghislaine Maxwell is sent to easier prison, a club fed, if you will, from a minimum security or a medium security prison to a low security prison. Obviously, she gave something up to get that favor. But that wasn't the end of it. Because, see, today they announced that Ghislaine Maxwell, an absolute fucking monster, PDF file, if you will, is also now cleared for work release. Sound familiar? Well, that's the sweetheart deal that Jeffrey Epstein got when he was arrested. They gave him work release, so he was out 12 hours, and then he was in jail for 12 hours. It's pretty ridiculous for the crimes that he committed and the crimes that Ghislaine Maxwell committed. But clearly, Donald Trump and the Trump administration support that kind of behavior because of the favors they're affording her. Now, the thing about it is people suggest that she's going to be pardoned by Donald Trump, and I'm thinking a little differently now. If he was going to pardon her, he probably would have done it. Now, in this work release, you think Ghislaine Maxwell is a flight risk? If you remember, when they found her, originally she was hiding in New Hampshire in some isolated area. She had all her phones wrapped in tinfoil and shit. She is definitely a flight risk. Or it puts her in a situation where she could be in danger. Because as long as she can talk, she's a danger to a lot of people. Not only Donald Trump, but a lot of other very powerful and wealthy people. I don't know what this means for Ghislaine Maxwell, but I do think that it's going to cause some problems, not only with the people that live in Bryan, Texas, where this place is, just all around Texas. I mean, these are the people that are Trump-la-fucks and were dead set against the whole cabal thing with the Democrats and Jeffrey Epstein. They're the ones that are intense about this. And they're letting her loose for a period of time in Texas. And I got to think they're not going to be exactly thrilled about that shit. I have TJ the plumber with me and Rebecca. They are people who are normally on the panel. And they are also moderators to keep control of the Trump-la-fucks out there. We have our share, certainly. And they make sure that we're safe. There's some other moderators out there, too. So, TJ, what are your thoughts about this Ghislaine Maxwell thing getting work release? I mean, that's fucking ridiculous.
We think it's ridiculous, but how can the Trump-la-fucks square this up? I mean, they just let the most notorious PDF file in American history out on work release. He's supposed to be in prison and, in Supermax or wherever she was for 20 years. And now she's out walking the streets.
It's absolutely crazy.
I can't imagine that this area where the prison is, that people are going to take too kindly to seeing her walking down the street. Here's what I think. There's a couple different ways this is going to play out. Either
I
one,
agree.
she's going to get seriously or, worse injured, okay?
Yeah,
Or she's going to disappear. Now,
exactly.
when I say disappear, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm saying that she's going to be unalived. What I'm
You're not talking necessarily a fatality. She's spirited off to some place where she can't be retrieved.
Right. Well, yeah, or it's arranged so that she escapes it all, or her silence.
Right.
Those are the
Well,
scenarios I think are most likely.
in the comments right now, Randy says she admitted to cellmates she has dirt on Trump. Now, I heard that too, but we have to know what source that came from. I don't know which publication reported that. I saw it too. I'm not taking it. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Plus, if you've got another convict talking or giving evidence, you can't really trust that either. It wouldn't surprise me if she did that. But here's the thing. They put Jeffrey Epstein in prison. They weren't taking any chances with Jeffrey Epstein. He ceased to exist after a short period of time. And some might think that they might try to get her to a country and save her and do all this stuff. But she's really of no value to anybody anymore. She's nothing but a liability, and a serious liability. If I'm Ghislaine Maxwell, I'm kind of looking sideways at this shit.
Yeah, I would be. I honestly, if I was her, I'd be afraid for my life. Yeah.
I would too. I would too. And she's kind of she's crazy and she's a criminal, but she's obviously has some intelligence, unlike a lot of the Trump-fucks, what she may be looking at. So it'll be interesting. Maybe they sent her to that weaker prison specifically so they could give her work release. I don't think they could have done it in the other prison. I may be wrong about that, but maybe that's the whole process. Get her to an easier prison, give her work release, and then whatever happens, happens.
Maybe they want her to disappear so that there isn't anybody left to talk.
Well, that's the thing, though, Rebecca. If she goes away to some place, we have the internet everywhere. All she has to do is somehow send a message and say, listen, if I don't get this, I don't get that, I'm going to put something on TikTok or whatever.
That wasn't necessarily what I meant by disappear, but
Okay. But either one is an option. She could disappear or she could cease to exist. One of those two things.
you have to think that Trump-fucks are also would have her in their sights because they're screaming for facts, whatever.
Oh,
facts are. But
Absolutely. I'm going to pull up Eric. He was just on the podcast, and I'm sure he has some insights here. We got plenty of other things to talk about, too. This one is the one that's kind of sticking in my brain because it's hard to figure out completely what's going on. When Donald Trump does something, it's easy to understand what the plan is, because Donald Trump's pretty fucking dumb. Eric, welcome to the TikTok Live. Have you been following this Ghislaine Maxwell thing with the work release program?
Not really. But if she's got work release, she clearly gave something up. She said something.
Or she promised not to give something up.
Maybe that's it. She said something during that interview with Todd Blanche, or phrased it in the way that she didn't know something in that interview with Todd Blanche, one way or the other, that is going to help Donald Trump. And now they want to get her out. They want to give her this cushy thing. And I think there may be counting that something happens to her when she's out in public. I mean, it is Texas. Anything can happen. If she disappears, or some concerned citizen, for lack of a better descriptive term, uh, takes matters into their own hands, for example, when she's out and about.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're angling for. I don't know. But it's really interesting that they said, well, we're not pardoning her. And Donald Trump says, I had nothing to do with her getting moved to a cushier prison. And now suddenly, she's not only in this cushy prison, she's getting half-day jail, basically.
That's the thing. Donald Trump always says, I don't know anything about it. I didn't do anything about it. He and his administration are the only ones that could have done it. It's ridiculous to suggest that he didn't do it. You know, it's funny. Donald Trump's in Washington, D.C. with the National Guard and the federalized police department trying to stop crimes. And now he's putting on work release an absolute monster, a criminal in Ghislaine Maxwell. He brought in the cartel leader Chapo's family into this country. And then somebody just mentioned this, and I remember seeing this on the news last night. It's from Chill Girl 50. What about the triple murderer Trump had released from Venezuela and is in Florida currently? And that's a true story. I know I saw it on a number of outlets. There was somebody in the process that was in Venezuela. They released him. He's now back in Florida, and he's literally a triple murderer, convicted of such. Seems like Donald Trump really isn't worried about crime so much. He's worried about somehow benefiting himself.
Sure.
Well, I saw something where somebody was talking about Donald Trump trying to take over D.C.'s police force because it's so crime-ridden. Like, yeah, I agree. There's so much crime going on in D.C. right now, but it's all centered at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
That's true. Well, there's some over at the Capitol, too, but yeah, mostly at 1600. No question about that. I'm going to pull somebody up here, see which way they want to go. I believe this person's been on here before. Her name is Beverly. Beverly, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I hit it by mistake. I'm sorry.
God damn it, Beverly. We're trying to run a smooth show here.
I'm sorry. I love your show. I listen to you every day.
I'm just teasing you. I know a lot of people do it, and I'd probably do it myself if I was on the other side of the coin. No problem.
Here I
you
am
hang with us.
tapping, and every time I turn around, it tries to pull me into your show.
Well, the people up here on the panel and me, of course, we're very magnetic personalities, so it's probably a physics thing, no doubt. well, Beverly, I'll put you back. I'll put you back down and stick with us, if you will.
Oh, I will.
All right, thank you. That is Beverly. Let's go another way. I believe this person will show up for us. The name is Angel. Angel, how are you doing? What's on your mind?
Oh, Angel's watching TV.
God damn it, Angel. All right. We'll just talk amongst us for now. We'll see who else shows up. We've got a few other requesters, but I'm going to let it rest a second. I'm hearing a lot about what's going on in Washington, D.C. I saw Aaron Parnas on, and he said he didn't see much activity. Other people have said that the National Guard is going into D.C. The big question is, what the fuck are they going to be doing?
They're going to stay.
There is crime like in any other city.
Yeah. Caroline Levitt got on talking about how much how they found 3 guns that were, stolen or whatever. They caught someone with drugs. I'm thinking to myself, that happens every day in every major city. Like, that's not some big fucking accomplishment. Like, if you believe that, you're absolutely stupid. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It's an everyday. I have friends that are cops, and that's an everyday occurrence. It's not anything out of the ordinary. Washington, D.C. is a very populated area. It stands to reason that you're going to come up with these things. But what I'd like to know is how many of these acquisitions of guns or drugs were done with unlawful searches.
Well, exactly. I mean,
Probably
we
a lot
know
of them.
what's going on with ICE,
Right.
and we can only presume the same thing is going to be going on. I heard about a video. See if you guys heard of this. And this is just adding insult to injury. We've got ICE going around raiding places. There's one video out there apparently, and I haven't seen it, so I have to use that with a grain of salt too. But was reported to me in this video, they raid a restaurant, and I'm not sure where it was, but they raid the restaurant. They just destroy the place because, of course, you got to ransack the place if you're ICE. They kidnap some people that they claim are immigrants. But in this video, apparently, on the way out, to add insult to injury, they go into the walk-in freezer and they loot and they steal food from
Yeah.
this restaurant.
It's in
It's
Pittsburgh.
fucking unbelievable.
I sent
Pittsburgh?
that.
It's in Pittsburgh. I don't know if TJ sent you the video, but he has it
Yeah.
because I showed it to him.
I think I sent that to you, Mike.
Yeah.
That happened in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, which is really close. I've actually been to that restaurant.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's
And
a nice restaurant. The people are friendly. The food is excellent. And they went in there. They destroyed the place, and then they out the back door. It's caught on video that they're stealing stuff out the back door and putting it in the van.
It is, the video is clear as day that they are ICE agents taking boxes at the back door and putting it into the van.
I mean, this is what happens when you hire
Now, are
literally
they
anybody.
ICE agents?
No matter how old, no matter how fat, no matter how stupid, no matter how criminal, if you want to be an ICE agent, anybody can get the fucking job. And the idea that we would have the lowest common denominator as ICE agents isn't surprising.
Yeah, are they actual ICE agents? The Proud Boys and the others and the other of these cosplayers that are cosplaying as ICE agents out there,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
that are doing this part of it, that don't actually know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
But it doesn't surprise me that they're doing this. You hire the worst of the worst, anybody who will show up, probably put them through zero training, send them
Yeah.
out and just say, yeah, just take care of this problem. They don't know what due process is. They don't know what anything is. And what they don't realize is at some point, at the very 20th, 2029, Donald Trump is going to be out of office. And then the investigations will begin. And they don't have immunity for things they've done unless they get pardons from Donald Trump. And
Yeah, I mean,
he's probably
they're going to be,
never covering his own ass.
well, Donald Trump may not even be in office when they start the investigations into the ICE agents, and telling people that I was just doing my job, that ain't going to work. It didn't work in Germany. It's not going to work here. Got somebody coming up here, hopefully. We're not doing too good with the people online. Devin, how are you doing?
Doing well.
What's
How
on
are
your
you?
mind today? Good,
Well,
good.
first of all, I really love your videos. I watch your videos all the time.
Thank you.
So kudos to you, sir. Love your views. My question was primarily, what do you think going forward with all of this gerrymandering of the states? There have been the stuff that's going on in Texas, the California type of interesting retaliations, and Missouri actually trying to do their stuff overnight, maybe about 3-4 days ago.
Yeah.
What
Well,
do you
they're going to
think
try to do it.
Where do you think that road is headed? Is kind of my question.
Well, the thing about it is they can only, I mean, these states are already fucking gerrymandered to a crazy level. If they get 5 in Texas and 2 in Missouri, that's all well and good. But when it all comes out in the wash, people are sounding like Democrats are going to win by 30 or 40 seats. So all that effort may not be of any value to them ultimately. And then we've got California, New York, and Illinois saying, well, we'll gerrymander our states. Now, that's something I think they need to just do now. Don't wait for them to do it and then they do it. The best way to stop a bully is to knock him on his ass. So you don't wait till they swing first. You knock them out before they have an opportunity. Now, I was listening to somebody on TV, and they were saying, well, if the Republicans gerrymander, that's bad. But if the Democrats do it in response, that's really bad for democracy too. Well, let me explain something to you. If we just let them do it, that is also bad for democracy.
Democracy,
yeah,
right?
Maybe
I'm like, why would we do that?
it may be distasteful to do this tit for tat type of thing, but that's all we got.
Right.
Everything else hasn't worked.
Well, I think that I do think that Democrats should do so, but I also look at the lawlessness and the threats that go around that are surrounding it. Something in that soup stinks to me. That's just why I was inquiring about you or maybe someone in your panel's view of what what do you think it looks like moving forward? Because there were like threats like, oh, well, I'll get the FBI involved. And you have all of this lawlessness that's happening and going on when I'd say this administration makes certain moves. It's not like they're not running around breaking the laws already.
Right. Well, Eric, TJ, and Rebecca, wade in, please.
Well, as far as where does it end, it's going to end at some point. There will be something passed federally. It may not be in time to stop this, but after it's done, I think, maybe I'm wrong, when the Democrats are back in control, at some point they will have to pass something to prevent it from happening again. But if the Democrats do it right and they redistrict, Republicans would never win again. They can gerrymander it to the point that Republicans never have the House of Representatives for a generation.
Yeah.
Republicans do not have the number of seats that they can gerrymander to make it happen. Where are they going to pick a lot of seats up? Like you mentioned Missouri. They can only pick up two seats out of Missouri.
Hold on one second. That's why I prefaced it. It's because I totally understand what you're saying. However, it's the threats and the lawlessness that causes concern for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tend to agree with I tend to agree with Eric, but one thing I can say is I like Gavin Newsom's approach to this.
Yeah.
Because Gavin Newsom said, this is what we're going to do. If Texas decides to gerrymander it so they gain 5 seats, we're going to do the same thing back to them, but it's temporary. So
and okayed by the constituents, which is good.
So the Democrats are sending a message if Illinois, New York, and California and Massachusetts, if they all get on board with the same thing and say, hey, we're going to do this, but only in response to what this ridiculous application is from Texas, that we're going to do it, but we're going to do it temporarily, and it shows that the Democrats are being more fair about it than it's more of a defensive move than an offensive move, which probably looks better in the eyes of the American voters.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do all know, we can look at stuff, but it's all in how it's sold to you in America. It's like, with all of the misinformation that was, taken in this last elections and all this stuff, it's just like relying on the public to have common sense is kind of futile at this point.
I agree. The thing about it is there are people who say we got to take the high road, rule of law and all that stuff. My contention is there is no rule of law right now. So why should we follow the rules if no one else is following the rules? We can't compete by being fair with people that are cheating. It's unfortunate, but we can't do it.
The other thing thing is, I think there's a lot of not MAGA really, but I think a lot of Republicans are just so freaking fed up. Gerrymandering may not even matter. Like they whether they just don't come out to vote because they're just so sick of everything, or they come out to vote and they don't really vote for who the Republicans are hoping they're going to vote for.
Yeah,
Well, Eric, you've said before that they could backfire. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've said before that this can backfire. You gerrymander people out of their safe district. Now, maybe not in Texas because they've got straight ticket voting, I believe. But
I found out they don't. Somebody wrote me a note.
They don't?
Have straight ticket anymore. No.
Okay. Well, that changes things. So you show up to vote and you don't recognize either name. Now suddenly you got to think a little bit.
Yeah.
And if they run some of these heavily MAGA candidates, they could lose. Look what happened with Florida earlier this year with those 2 special elections. Trump districts that were plus, that Trump won by 65% or whatever, or with 65% of the vote, and they could barely squeak out 50 plus in the special election. You take out name recognition, it changes things. It can backfire. And if people are pissed off enough about this bullshit, they may, for one election only, vote Democrat or not vote that particular race just to send a message to the people in their state saying, hey, fuck you.
Right.
You know what? That's a very, very valid point. But I mean, I also look at how I want to say this in a correct way. I wonder how with the with even with that being the case, this administration does have people in place that will move legislations and litigate, and laws or do deeds to make the mechanism. This is what happened over here, so we're going to change the law. So blah 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 blah. I do look at how a lot of during the real interest is, the ending of Donald Trump's last administration, how all of those ties to, I say, voting or I say electors was really focused on by that administration. So I do have questions about a lot of stuff. Democrats got a lot of work to do because there's a lot of sneaky stuff going on. And like I said, I think that the population is not enjoying what's happening now, and you can see that in our polls. But if we're looking forward, is it enough? Does the opposition have enough agents in place to really just screw us out of everything anyway?
Yeah, I'm not.
That's a weird question, I know.
No, I know. Well, what you're basically saying is there nothing we can do, and do we just have to fucking deal with it? Part of me says, I was talking to Old Soul's brother today, and when you see all the shit happening, it's almost as if you got to let it burn all the fucking way down and burn themselves down and then start back up. I hope that's not the case, but I could see how that's a possibility.
Me too. I do have a lot of optimism for our country because people. I have friends that when I was growing up, I lived in a predominantly black area. At graduation, I graduated from a predominantly all-white school, and even that was in the 80s. And I graduated in like '88. So it's like I had friends that were at the precipice of, I'd say, being more, integrated as far as the country, as far as races. A lot of my friends were not racist as their parents were, but there was that ideology because this is farmland people. It's different types of things. So it's like once we start to get to know each other, things did progress, and we have to be really, I look at the country like this. Although Donald Trump won, he won by very small margins all the way across the board, right? So it's not like it's like this, country full of, basket cases. Half of the country didn't want it in the first place, just like me. So it's like I don't have this, a lot of people push this narrative that can cause animosity between the races, because we talk about race, but we don't talk about how much we've moved forward from the past that was evidently embedded in all of us.
But Donald Trump and the Republicans have knocked us back a few steps too. I mean, we, like you say, we've got a lot of cleaning up to do once we're done with this, and I'm convinced that we will be done with this at some point. And the people who are in power that are taking advantage and are criminal, they should be thinking about that. They should be able to just take a look around at the polls, at the economy, and all the shit going down. They know this is going to come to an end, maybe even during the midterms. You would think they'd want to protect themselves and separate themselves from it, but they're holding on tight, and they're some dumb motherfuckers.
I think the bigger question is this. If Donald Trump and the Republican majority's policies are so good, then why do they need to gerrymander Texas?
Yeah, they're scared.
Well, that's a straight control move. I mean, the Democrats called it right. It's a power grab, and that's been the plan the whole time. I mean, it's not like it's not in 2020 in Project 2025.
Yeah, well, they know.
Well,
they know that they're going to get trounced in the midterm elections, and that's why, because all the fuck ups that Donald Trump and the Republicans are making right now. So that's why they're so scared that they want to gerrymander these seats to try to keep control of the House, and it's not going to work.
Well, that was part of it anyway, though.
Part of it is distraction. I mean,
yeah.
The one thing that can bury them is Jeffrey Epstein. That's why there's people in D.C. That's why he's meeting with Putin. That's why he's got the gerrymandering going on. He's trying to change the narrative, trying to scare people so that they don't focus on the one thing that's going to end it for him.
But that is so
Jeffrey Epstein.
That's so hilarious to me that, let's take away Medicare. Let's, throw people out the country. But Jeffrey Epstein and all of this conspiracy, that's where I draw the line. It's kind of like, what? I kind of look at that in a weird way.
Well, apparently these people don't care if people die. There are people dying and
Jeffrey Epstein touching babies.
Right. Well, and then, but when I was thinking about some of these things, I thought, well, these people don't really care about collateral damage. A perfect example is COVID. It was said because Donald Trump didn't do anything, 750,000 people died, and that wasn't enough. He still wants to tell us it's a hoax.
Yeah. To me, that's what's funny about it. But continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody, Asgard said, and I kind of tend to agree with him, but we have to count on the Democrats to do this. He says, gerrymandering won't do shit as long as people come out in huge masses to vote. And that's largely true. Of course, one of the main reasons we lost on November 5th is a lot of Democrats sat on their ass for whatever reason. I thought they might be scared enough with overturning Roe v. Wade and some of the other shit, but apparently they forgot what Donald Trump did in his first term. Much like the midterms after Biden won, people have it fresh in their minds, and there are probably a lot of people terrified. While there are some base people that will stick with Donald Trump no matter what, there are a lot of independents and a lot of more in the middle Republicans that are suffering right now. It'll be interesting to see how they react. It'll be interesting to see if the Democrats say, fuck it, we're voting no matter what. That's what we really need. We need a huge turnout. And midterms are known for not having great turnouts, but I have a feeling we might see an unprecedented amount of people coming out this time.
In midterms, I think. But I will say that, I don't know, with the midterms coming up, there's a lot of opportunity for the Democrats. The moves that they're making, I like, but it's more of with that. I'd say with a lot of black men as far as siding with Trump and things like that. A lot of that comes from the lack of energy that is focused on black men from the Democratic, promotion. It's almost like we talk about women, the black girl, and we even had, ethnic vice president and president and things of that sort. But as far as what I'd say urban men look at, they'll look at what's being done. You do have a lot of, I'd say, unfortunately, Democrats that are down ticket that will put money that comes for the area in white spaces, and it does happen a lot down ticket in urban areas.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
So it's like
The
you're
Democrats
looking at,
have a lot of problems.
it's like you're looking and I'm not calling these people anything. I'm just saying, what the facts are in a lot of these districts. So it's like you're looking at how the Democrats, well, I'd say a lot of my friends feel that, we vote Democrat because the Democrats, it's like they feel that the Democrats don't do nothing for them. However, the Republicans are actively working against them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Devin, thank you for coming on. I'm going to try to get a bunch of other people up here. I appreciate it very much for you coming on.
Have a great night, guys.
You too. Feel free to come back anytime.
Sure. And I love your show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That is Devin. Let's see who else is out there. A lot of people. We got a murderer's row up here. Let's go with a sure thing.
Mr. Mike, what's up?
And it's Trucker T.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, how you doing tonight?
Hey,
I'm guessing
good.
nothing on your mind much tonight.
No, hey, I'm feeling so good. I actually requested up this time
Yeah, you did.
instead of being dragged up here. Hey, I don't know what I missed with that last one, but I don't feel that way, and I'll leave it at that. What do you guys think about a military readiness task force to go that will be ready within 1 hour for any riot that's available?
Yeah, well, is it just a riot, or are they just going to try to shut down all protest? I mean, they're obviously afraid of the protest, and they'll call it a riot.
Yeah, they
Right.
put it in the umbrella under the riot.
Yeah, that's the big question. What constitutes a riot? Does standing out on the sidewalk holding a sign with 30 people constitute a riot?
Does 3 people standing with signs constitute a riot?
Well, I saw
Yeah.
a riot today in D.C. where it was like 4 guys sitting on a porch smoking a cigarette. And I think one of them may have had a beer on his porch, and about 5 or 6 of them, ran through the alley on him, to let them know, hey, that's against the law. So not as much fight as I've seen.
Hold on a minute. It's against the law to sit on your porch and drink a beer? Since
And
fucking
smoke a
when?
cigarette. That's what he says. And he says, I'm just letting you know because there's so many people out here, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit.
Does Donald Trump understand there weren't as many people out there on the streets protesting until he did what he did? They're reacting to the bullshit he did. If he just hadn't done it, there wouldn't be all these people on the street. Same goes for Los Angeles. This is why people think that he's trying to incite something. I said something, let's see what you guys think about this. What he's doing there is at least trying to give the impression that he's imposing martial law on Washington, D.C. And I'm kind of glad he's doing it that way, because if he did it throughout the whole country, that would be a much harder thing to deal with. But Donald Trump, as we know, will fuck up everything. So when he goes into Washington, D.C., and it ultimately fails, maybe that'll be something they can take off the bingo card for the future for the entire country. We need to figure out a way to shut that down and embarrass him so he doesn't try to leak out into other cities.
Well, maybe one of you guys know about this, because I was busy today and I saw it pop up, but I couldn't read it. That there's going to be troops deployed to Chicago. Did anyone see that pop up?
Yeah, and the mayor from Chicago says that that's not going to happen because he's not going to allow it. And Pritzker came out and said the same thing, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think can be done? Say Donald Trump goes into Chicago, which would be a mistake, and he sends out the National Guard. What can somebody like Pritzker or the mayor of Chicago do in response to that?
Well,
Same thing.
Do they send out the police, or what do they do?
but hang on a second. Donald Trump can't control the Illinois National Guard.
Right.
He could send the U.S. Army there, but what's going to happen is maybe Pritzker in turn going to send the National Guard out and say, if they come into the city limits, you can use force to remove them. I mean, that's
Well, now theoretically, he could control the Illinois National Guard, much like he did with the Los Angeles National Guard. There'd have to be some threat, but we know Donald Trump doesn't care. He just makes shit up, and he could do it. So I don't. That's what I don't understand. Can he just go unimpaired and take over the National Guard of any state because of whatever he says is bad going on in that particular location? I think J.B. Pritzker has one big thing going for him over Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a fucking dumbass. He always fails. And Pritzker's a pretty smart guy. So if there is a way to deal with that situation, I feel confident Pritzker will be the guy to do it.
Okay, so what are they going to do? Take Big Balls down to Illinois and prop him up against a truck van that says America on it and put fake ketchup on his shirt and pants? I mean, how many?
Let me. Have any of you guys spent any time in Washington, D.C.?
all the time. I'm there twice a year.
Okay, let me ask you this. If a skinny little white kid named Big Balls gets himself in trouble with a bunch of African American men and gets his ass beat, does he even fucking survive?
No. And
How
they
did
said-
Big Balls even survive that situation?
I heard it was a girl. The last I heard it was a girl.
I wouldn't be.
A girl beat him
heard
up?
that too.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it was a girl.
So it wasn't a bunch of black guys, it was one girl.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know. I haven't researched it. But
We may have to reevaluate that name Big Balls soon.
He got
I mean,
he
but if you got to brag, you ain't got.
yeah, this whole situation is absurd. It's stupid as shit, right? You're not
Well,
bringing the National Guard or the Army to Illinois. And my whole thing with that is every city that he named, Chicago, D.C., Baltimore, they all have African American names. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Every single one that he named. So these are just his dog whistles that he's putting out there to shake things up because of the whole DEI situation. That's just my opinion.
Well, how far are we away from this getting violent? I mean, you can't send stormtroopers into somebody's town, disrupt everything, arrest people, pile up homeless people, and cause people problems like what's going on in Pittsburgh with the restaurants. I mean, there's got to be a breaking point at some point where people say, fuck it. We're going to stop this shit.
Well, it looked like it got a little violent with that homeless person in D.C. They had to put a spit mask on him, but he only had one leg in his defense. I think if he had two, they might have had to, do a little something else.
So this homeless guy had one leg, and they said, that's a dangerous motherfucker. Let's get him.
Let's get his. Oh, he was in a wheelchair too, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to wrap that guy up quick.
Yeah. Well, that's the same as when they grab up little kids and put them in handcuffs and detain them and send them to a concentration camp. 'Cause they're so fucking tough.
But here's the thing: doesn't it have to be an exigent circumstance
For what?
in order to bring in the military, right?
Yeah.
Supposed to.
Could be.
Theoretically, but Donald Trump has rules for anything he does, but he just disregards the rules. Yeah, it's an emergency. There's no emergency in Washington, D.C. There was no emergency in Los Angeles, but he just says it, and he's allowed to do it. That's the troubling thing. That's why I think at some point it's going to have to get ugly if he keeps just doing what he wants to do.
Well, I can tell you what an actual emergency is, if this is true or not. Saw it with my own eyes, but it probably was AI, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. Because if it's AI, it don't matter. He was sitting on Fox News' couch with that fucking white pillow that they always make him sit on, and the pillow started to turn brown, start leaking down. Don't know if that was AI or not, but that would be an emergency.
I heard that story too. I don't know if it's true or not. I hope it was true.
Yeah.
I hope it was true. Trucker T, I'm going to keep you there, and I'm going to pull somebody else up. This appears, I think I'm pulling somebody up.
Nope.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's go another route. We'll see if this person comes up. The name is Ocean Lover. Ocean Lover, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm doing great.
I love watching your show and your posts
Thank you.
and everything all the time. Yeah, I got.
I like you for liking me.
Oh, good. We're the same age, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were born in '60, and so was I, right?
I was born in
born-
1960. Yep.
What month?
April.
And I was March. So we can
That's
relate.
pretty close.
Shit. You cracked
You-
me up.
You were born in 1960 in March. I was born in April. And my wife was born in 1960 in May. So we got a
Wow.
triumvirate there.
Well, we could have a good
So-
party.
So what's on your mind?
I
Yeah,
don't know. I forget now.
that's all right. I do that a lot. I forget a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's our age. No, I
Well,
was thinking-
Ocean Lover, I tell people this all the time. At 65, I remember the 70s like it was yesterday, but I
Yeah.
frequently forget to zip my pants coming out of the bathroom. That's kind of how it works with old people.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that means we had fun, I guess. No,
So
see. What was I going to say? A lot of stuff, you know. I'm freaking out. That's why
Are you
I watch
freaking out?
it. I'm freaking out about everything that's going on. I can't believe this shit. So everything is so bad in Washington, right? That's why
Right.
President on the alleged president is walking around on the roof of the White House and building
Yeah.
a great big ballroom. You know, because everything is so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
It makes no sense, the things he says. He says one thing and then he contradicts himself. I wish he'd stand up on the roof for a while.
Yeah. he
Eventually
was
a
there
drone's
pretty
gonna come
long
by.
time, You know, I'm like, man, it didn't look like there was anybody around him either.
Well, there was Secret Service, but they were standing back. They didn't want to get hit with shrapnel, apparently.
Me up. That's true.
It is true. What part of the country do you live in?
I live in Pennsylvania,
Oh, okay.
right outside of Philly.
So does TJ and Rebecca. Now, are you retired?
Yeah, I'm disabled actually.
How you doing with the way the economy's going and all this stuff going on? Are you doing okay?
My economy is stuck, and I'm scared to death because I live off of all the programs he's cutting.
Right.
Everyone. So I live on Medicaid, Social Security, SNAP, and I'm waiting for my low-income housing to come through in the beginning of the year. I've been on a waiting list for like 3 years. My
Wow.
roommate is 76, and she just got hospitalized, and she's not coming back. So I'm screwed because the rent here is like $1,800 a month, and you know that's why I have a roommate. I can't pay for that. So yeah, everything is crazy.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
try to
you know,
keep it-
I've told people that we will get through this eventually. I can't say there isn't going to be some pain, unfortunately. I'd like to say there isn't, but we need a stronger attack on Donald Trump. I'll be honest with you. If we could expose Donald Trump for whatever criminality that he can't back down off of, if we could just get him out of there, there would be a little ease in the system because Donald Trump is kind of the pivot point for all this stuff. He's scaring people on the Republican side, confusing people on the Democratic side, and he's just allowed to do whatever he wants. I've always thought, well, he's going to get to a certain point and people will push back. But I thought that would happen 3-4 months ago, maybe 2
Well, you
years
know
ago.
what?
But what's
the other
that?
Night, the other night, I got into, unfortunately, I scrolled into this, into a live that
A Trump-la-fuck live?
yeah, by accident, and then I got pissed off by what I was hearing, so I hit the request button, and I got in the box, and man, that was ugly. It was ugly. Like oh, the shit. And I'm like trying to argue with him, like, and I'm getting heated, and I'm starting to curse, and he's all pretending he's all godly, and this is why, Trump is so great because, he's godly, evidently. I don't know. I'm Christian. I don't feel like he's very godly at all. And anyway,
No.
if I do curse, I don't think God gets mad at me for it.
I
And
clearly
he's like
don't
telling
because I
me,
do it a
"Oh,
lot.
well, I had to clean up my mouth, and you have potty mouth." He said to me because I'm like, how can you like even vote for somebody who talks about touching women's private parts and laughing about
Right,
it?
exactly.
I mean, that
That-
alone. And if you have daughters or a mom or anybody, like, what, that alone, and that's it. I'm from
Yeah.
Philly, so, like, I watched Atlantic City go down the drain when he took it.
Yeah.
I watched that. That was the beginning of my impression of Donald Trump. It was Atlantic City, and it's a pit, so he made it a pit.
Yeah, he absolutely did. I mean, that's what he does with everything he does. I mean, all
mean,
his buildings.
How can you vote for somebody who actually bankrupted a freaking casino? Everybody knows the house always wins. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what?
now, yeah, he's not a very good businessman. He's failed at
And it's
everything he's
dirty.
done.
He made it dirty, and the crime went up, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think. Did you learn any lessons from going into that live? Because
Stay the hell out of them.
right, because there's
there's
no value in it.
I actually did learn something, and that is how, like, I know from hearing you talk and other, people like Midas Touch and everything, but like, to actually talk to one like that, I had a woman that I had a little argument with for a few months because I didn't know she was MAGA, and then when she changed her name to MAGA Catherine and started following me around into my un-MAGA rooms, I was like, no, man, you need to go. But
Yeah.
I never really talked to, like, a guy, strong, opinionated, male, MAGA, and it was ridiculous. He would not let me get a freaking word in.
Yeah,
That makes-
that's their whole strategy. They want to try to talk loud and talk over you and try
And
to
anything I said, he countered it with some kind of crazy bullshit. Like, when I said about them taking, like, little kids and throwing them in the, handcuffs and stuff like that, and how can you think that's okay? How can you think that's okay? And he's like, oh, and he's like, goes to, well, if you were drunk driving and you had your kid in the car, you'd have to take it, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? And then I start cursing because I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, put little kids in handcuffs. It's a good idea.
Loud
Try
about
to
things
make
they
some
don't
dumb
know.
ass excuse for it.
Well,
Now-
here's the thing. Here's the thing I've always learned in dealing with Trump-la-fucks. Now, I've been talking about Donald Trump and all his crimes for 5 years. So I kind of know what's going on. I know the ins and outs of these things. And I've had occasion to talk to Trump-la-fucks. The first thing I learn is no matter how smart you are, no matter how much evidence or receipt you have, they can't grasp truth or rule of law. They can't comprehend any of that. You can't teach them anything. The one thing where they get frustrated with me is because I know what they do. They always talk over people.
Yeah.
And because I've been talking my whole life, I end up talking over them, and it frustrates them. You're just talking over me. I go, you're right, motherfucker. And he says, and you shouldn't swear. You should stop swearing. And I say, no, fuck you. And then I
Yeah.
continue on. It only feels good because I get to beat them up, but I haven't gained anything.
Right. And then you leave feeling like shit. Like, I was just like, ooh, I wanted to, like, punch something, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it
no.
made me feel violent.
I go in there. I go in there and I fuck with them, and I don't get all worked up about it. Like, they'll say a bunch of stupid shit, and I just go in there and I say even more ridiculous stuff back to them just to piss them off.
See, I could go for that, but I'm not. This was my first round, so, you know.
Well,
I
TJ's.
wouldn't mind going in and doing something like that. Just for fun, if I was bored.
Well, TJ is a serial Trump-la-fuck killer.
Yes,
And he's it's habitual with him. I'm sure Rebecca will walk into a room and hear him doing whatever he's doing, and I applaud him for doing that. I would love to do it, but I try to avoid getting taken down. I try to avoid that much as I
I
can.
have not only walked into like TikTok live rooms, I have walked into literal physical rooms and watched him doing it to actual people.
Well,
TJ, let me ask you a question. I get this frequently. I'm in a room. Some Trump-la-fuck walks up to me. I'm not talking about politics at all. I talk about it all day. I don't need to talk about it there. And they are compelled to confront you or say something to trigger you. And I've always said, if you come up to me and talk to me and say some stupid shit, I'm going to fucking take it to you. But when it's all said and done, people will come around and say, why did you fight with him? I go, I didn't fight with him. He started some shit and I had to push back. Well, why can't you just not do that? And I said, look, I'm not the one you should be talking to.
Right.
Why isn't anybody talking to that dumb motherfucker who started this bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to protect myself and protect what's right. This dumb motherfucker started it. But you're too afraid to go talk to him because you're afraid you're going to have the same thing. So why don't you shut up and just let me kick his ass and we'll be done with it?
Exactly.
Yeah, that squares up. I mean, I'm not going to tolerate that shit. If somebody's spewing a bunch of bullshit and I think it's wrong, I'm going to fucking correct them.
Listen, you guys, I'm 4'10", and like I'll jump a bitch, okay? I'm a grown man with yeah.
No, you got to keep blocking motherfuckers in there.
You're 4'10" and 65 years old,
And I'll still
and
jump.
and still imposing. I've always said. I've always said that. I've been in my tussles in my life, and I'd rather fight a big, strong guy than a little crazy guy because you don't know what you're getting into.
I need to. But
Yeah.
my dad was a boxer, so he taught me. He didn't have a boy, and I was a baby, so he taught me a lot of shit.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on. I've got somebody who wants to tell me a national story, so I want to check that out. Thank you very much, and be safe.
you.
And
Yep.
I hope all goes well for you.
Thank you, honey. You too. Bye.
All right, thank you. All right, it sounds like this person had a typo, but I still want to talk to her. Her name is Mama Beth. At first, she said, "I want to tell you a national story," and she said she had a typo, so it's a rational story.
I did typo it wrong. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. I'm happy to hear the
I'm
rational
so
story
sorry.
too.
So, no, okay, so I'm a little bit younger than you. I'm about 10 years younger than you. But
Everybody is.
no, that's not true. But I do know a good receipt story about Trump because
Please.
I'm from Indiana. So he built, if you guys know the bio on him, he had the casinos up in Gary and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So my dad's best friend who built the Hoosier Dome which the Hoosier Dome's not there anymore. But if you guys know anything about Indiana, the Hoosier Dome was built like this big, huge balloon thing when the Colts first
Right.
came from Baltimore.
Right.
And so my dad's best friend, which his name was Steve, he's passed away now. My dad has too. But he was the head of, he was the foreman of the Hunt Construction, and all that. So he did the Hoosier Dome. He did quite a few things. So he was on the board up there in those casinos. So Trump comes in the room with all the CEOs, all the hunch, all the dudes that have to deal with the building of these casinos. And he had illegals all in their building. He didn't give a shit as long as it was cheap. That's all he cared about. And then
Yeah.
he wouldn't pay for the second building. And they literally chokehold him across the table. And he pulled
Literally?
literally they chokehold his ass across the table. So my dad hated Trump, hated him until he became a Republican. And then Steve died, and I've always told my dad, I'm like, Dad, your best friend told you he was a piece of shit. You saw proof. He showed you all this. He goes, well, blah, blah, blah. He's Republican and Christian and blah, blah, blah. And I grew up very Lutheran, which I'm not religious at all now because of the proof that I see with everything. I do believe there's higher beings up there, yes, but do I believe the book was written? No, it's all gossip. It's all people talking. But however, seeing how Trump is and what he did up there, and he didn't pay for the second building, and then it went bankrupt in Gary. Google it. It's all up there. And my dad's best friend said that to him. And then even before my dad died, it took him until probably the past year, because my dad just passed away, unfortunately, less than 2 months ago. And
Sorry to hear that.
it took him till probably, I would say, the past 6 months, because my brother's, well, I don't know how to say this, my brother's in-law, his wife's sister's husband, whoever that is, I don't know how you do that
Okay.
in terms.
I don't either.
He's from Mexico, and he's been in detention since December.
Wow.
And his wife had a baby. And my brother, and he was a high school teacher at a very huge school in Indianapolis, which is called Ben Davis, and was a soccer coach, and they arrested him at his house. And his wife
Wow.
just had a baby, her second baby. So they all are reneging now on everything and saying, oh, well, blah, 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 but we believe in this and this. And I'm just like dumbfounded that we have so much receipts in our immediate family, and they still believe that that's the right way to go. We don't talk about it.
It seems to be literally a mental illness, doesn't it?
Well, I will tell you guys where I'm at. I'm in the Midwest in Indiana. It's a very mental illness here.
A lot of it?
The whole, we have flags everywhere that it's all about Trump. And then also Vance was just here a couple days ago because he wanted to gerrymander Indiana. And
Wow.
they're talking about it, which Indiana is very Republican except for Obama. Is the only time that we switched over.
Is Pence very popular in Indiana? That's his home state?
No, he's not.
Because
No,
he's not popular?
No. And the funniest thing, I can send you guys videos because I have it on my phone. So my son was part of the Indianapolis Children's Choir, and he sang for his inauguration when he was the governor or whatever he was. And I'm like, oh,
Okay.
he's cute. He's a good-looking dude. And then I found out who he was and what was going on with him, and I hated him. And it was just really sad that my son had to sing for it and do all that bullshit, not knowing that he didn't believe in women's rights and the whole 9 yards.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pence to me, I'm heterosexual, so
follower.
he
follower.
looks a little creepy to me, to be honest with you. There's something
I know.
off about him. He doesn't seem like a real person.
No, no. And I mean,
Don't
I
forget
have
my
video of all of it's really funny because my son was really good singing and he did all that stuff. Like, honestly, the last performance my son did was the Indy 500 with Lady Gaga, and he had no clue that he was standing next to Lady Gaga. Sent me a
Wow.
picture. Sent me a picture while I was, because like us parents had to wait, for the kids to get done and all that kind of stuff. And he sends me a picture. He goes, I'm standing next to this girl, and she literally is like 5'2". She's a
Yeah.
tiny little thing. So, but I just want to let you know, in Indiana, I mean, our farmers are going bankrupt right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Farming's big in Indiana, and the
Yeah, it's all
farmers have
going
been hit
bankrupt.
pretty hard.
Very bad.
So what happens
Very
to
bad.
these farmers that voted for Trump and now they're going broke? Don't they
They're selling their land.
feel some kind of way?
No, they're selling their land to developers. That's what they're doing.
Wow.
Because a lot of the farmers in my area are old school. And I want to say the family's old school, and the kids or the grandkids don't want to do the farming at all. So they're just selling the land and giving the profit, or keeping the profit, and then when they die, they give it to the kids, and then the kids have this big, huge, literally in Indiana, there's $1 million to $2 million houses on these farmlands because they sold the land, and that's their profit, is the house.
I've always contended that was part of the plan, is that disabling USAID and all these other places where American farmers send their food. I've contended that either one of two things is going to happen. The scenario in which she's saying, where they can sell off the land to developers to develop that land, or hedge funds, or they can sell the farm to a corporate farming company so they can own all of the farms in the country.
Okay,
TJ?
but in Indiana, let me just say this. Do you know what we develop in Indiana?
What is your main crop?
What's our two main crops we have in Indiana?
I would say wheat.
Corn and
No,
Corn and
no.
soybeans.
It's corn and soybeans. Where does it go? It does not
China.
stay it does not
Overseas,
stay
China.
it does not stay in the United States.
Well, the people who were growing soybeans had to take a pretty big hit in the first term because they couldn't sell the soybeans. They rotted in the fields. When it finally did come back, it only came back halfway. So they were losing money even when it did come back.
Well, not here because we rotate every other year. So the one year you see corn, the next year you see soybeans. And it's
Okay.
always flourishing here. It's always flourishing here. But it does go overseas or it feeds animals. That's it. Our corn and soybeans do not feed people. Absolutely not.
Okay, well that makes it easier.
Did you see Donald Trump put that tweet out saying, well, when he put the pause on with China again, saying, well, we're going to get China to buy 4 times as much soybeans from us again? Well, the only reason they're not buying it is because of his dumbass the first time, and now this.
bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a trivia. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm from Indiana. Everybody tell me what your gas prices are right now.
3,
Where are you from?
Mine's about,
basically 3 even. Iowa.
Iowa?
370.
I'm at about 315 in Minnesota.
I'm at $2.99 in Indiana. Because I just filled up today and had to get gas for the grass, even though it's dry as can be.
Yeah.
What's ours, TJ? Like it's like 370, right? Like something like
It's
that.
like 367.
360, yeah, right. Between 365 and 370 something, depending on what you
Okay.
get.
What's weird? Nobody said $1.99.
Yeah.
No.
I thought it was
$1.
$1.99.
How much is your steak when you buy it at the store right now? To buy one steak at the store right now, it is cheaper. It is cheaper to go to Texas Roadhouse than
Yeah,
it
it's
is
like
to go
between
buy a
$12 and
steak.
$14 to buy like a decent, or like a regular sirloin.
Right.
If I'm buying a ribeye, which is what I prefer to buy, we're at over
They're
$20
fatty
for it.
though. They're fatty though.
Yeah, but they're the best steaks.
They're
T-bones are
marbleized a
probably
lot.
about $20. Yeah, well, that's why they're good. But yeah, I've noticed that with the meat, it's very expensive now, and you're
Yes.
absolutely right. My wife says, "Why don't you get some steaks and we'll cook them on the grill?" I go, "Honey, it's cheaper just to go to the restaurant because you get
It
all
is.
the other stuff they serve you. You
Yeah.
don't have to clean anything up, and it ends up being the same price."
Right.
Hallelujah. I agree. I agree. But we used to get a half a cow and a half a pig here in Indiana. We used to do that all the time, but we haven't done
Yeah.
that for so long because everybody's condensed, and like the grandkids, we're not going to give them free meat. There's no way we're going to give them free meat. So,
Well, it sounds like you might be able to get cheap meat from ICE because they're ripping off restaurants all over the fucking place.
oh, I know. Okay, so did you see on the national news, Plainfield, Indiana,
No.
that they went into all the restaurants in Plainfield, Indiana, and stuff, and took all the people from ICE? I mean, the ICE people did. I'm sorry.
Well, they were taking immigrants out. Did they loot the place too and destroy the place?
I have no. They literally went in there and went in the back door and just like took all the workers out and checked their cards. It
Wow.
was on. It was on the local news here in Indiana, in Indianapolis. Yeah,
They were nicer than what they did in Pennsylvania.
but like I
Yeah.
said, my sister-in-law's brother-in-law has been in detention in what's it called? It's starts with A, down in southern Indiana, and
Oh,
it's by the it starts with A, but it's by the military base down there also. And she just had the second baby, and mind you, he look up Ben Davis High School. The freaking school's huge. It's huge, and he was like a soccer coach and a teacher there, and because he filled out his papers. So this is what's going on. ICE is cheating. They're not even grabbing real people. They're grabbing people that had to refill out their paperwork because to be an illegal in the United States or whatever you want to call it is horrid. First off, you got to pay $10,000 to sign up, and then every year you got to pay $1,000 and go through all this paperwork and stuff. There's no way illegal. The people that are trying to be American citizens have more education on our history than we do because they have to go through all this freaking crap. Then they have to
yeah.
pay these fees each year and sign back up with their paperwork. So what ICE is doing is when you sign back up, they have your new address. They just go to your house and pick you up because there is a chance. The paperwork states there is a chance that you can be picked up because you're technically not a citizen. You're on a permit. And that's what they're
Yeah.
doing to everybody.
It's absolutely fucking appalling what's going on, and I can't believe it continues. Mama Beth, thank you for coming on. I've got some
Thank
other people I want to
you.
get up, but I appreciate the story. Rational or national, doesn't matter. I'm glad you
Sorry,
came up.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No biggie.
No.
No biggie.
I'm sorry. Like I typed it wrong, so I apologize. But
By the way, Mama Beth in the comments kept saying, "I don't like to talk, but I want to tell the story."
Well,
I know. I do. I'm a Cancer. I like pull the shit out of my ass. Sorry,
that's all right.
but
I'm
no.
an
I just want
Aries,
to let
and
you
I do the
guys
same
know.
thing.
I just want to let you guys know. I do have facts about him, even before because he was on The Apprentice, and we were talking shit about the show starting, and they're like saying, "Well, he got his tie pulled across the table and everything," and I'm like. And people think he's cool, and they're like, "No, no one likes him. No one does."
No,
So,
he's a weak son of a bitch. Thank you, Mama Beth. I appreciate it.
all right, thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
Me too.
Let's see who else we got here. We've got this young lady. No doubt has something to say. C Temptation.
I'm back.
What's up, C? You
What's
are
going
back.
on,
What's up,
Mike?
C?
Mike,
Uh,
Eric, T, Rebecca, TJ, and everybody to the panel. Happy Tuesday.
He doesn't have any competition tonight here.
Say it again.
I said you don't have any competition here tonight, so you're
No,
good.
I'm just feeling a little sad though because of all the stuff that's going on, and plus I did a video earlier and they was talking about how U.S. employers had did a layoff in July over 62,000 positions. A lot of people got laid off, and I just really feel sorry for the people in the tech industry, and it's scary.
it is. Well, you maybe heard that the layoffs in July are up 29%, and they're at their highest point
Right.
since the early stages of COVID.
I did.
That
Yeah.
may
And I looked that up and I was just like, I was just shocked.
Well,
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, people are uncertain what's going to happen, so they're being more cautious. The thing about it is regarding that labor statistics commissioner that Donald Trump fired because he didn't like the information.
Right.
Did you hear who he hired?
No, I didn't. I didn't get that far, but I just read all of that and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I mean, he's a complete idiot. I mean, and he wants to play it off like, oh, those numbers are incorrect. I mean, apparently the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't lie, and people need them in order to invest, and the Fed needs them. But he hired a gentleman by the name of E.J. Anthony. He is an economist. You know where he worked?
Where?
Heritage Foundation.
The Heritage Group, Project
Oh,
2025.
Heritage Foundation.
Which is so weird. What are the odds?
Right.
Donald Trump told us he didn't know anything about Project 2025. He didn't know anybody in it, and some of it he didn't even like. And here we go. We hire a new person for this position, and he happens to work for Project 2025.
Exactly.
Talk about a coincidence. Fuck.
I mean, how in the hell can you sit up here and not know what's going on with Project 2025, but ever since the beginning of this year, you sign off on executive orders left and right. You know, you thinking like just a swipe of a pen, everything's supposed to automatically go into law. It doesn't work that way. He forgot about the power of the purse from Congress.
Right. Now, he's only been nominated, so he has to be cleared. And assuming he's cleared, here's his idea to placate Donald Trump. This is what he plans to do. We know those. That data is important to the Fed, to investors, to oligarchs, and all this stuff. So what E.J. Anthony is saying, maybe we will just stop doing the monthly fucking reports,
Get the
so he
fuck
doesn't
out
have
of
to
here.
make. I'm serious.
fuck out of here.
That's what he said.
I mean, but my theory is this though. What makes him to believe though that we won't know the real deal?
Well, he's so delusional and so oblivious. He's just constantly trying to make himself look good. Like the whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein, he's so off base on that. All he's worried about is clearing his
way
name
off base.
from Jeffrey Epstein. But the people who want to know about Jeffrey Epstein don't care about that. They want to see the fucking files. And that's why we got to keep pushing that. But Donald Trump is just trying to make himself look good. He is a malignant narcissist. He's mentally ill. And he's just doing everything to make himself look good. He's going into Washington, D.C., so he appears tough, and we can be distracted from Jeffrey Epstein.
And not
Sorry,
just-
Donnie. Nobody's distracted.
And not just him having dementia. I mean, he's walking around with swollen ankles, which that's one of the signs of congestive heart failure because my brother has it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Not to mention shitty pants.
That too. Because that's
That's a red
another
flag.
sign of dementia because, the simple fact they lose their mobility. They forget how to go to the bathroom. They forget how to bathe. They forget how to brush their teeth. I mean, that's why they have to have caregivers to do those things for them because they don't remember. They forgot. Well,
Right.
So, Mike, I was going to mention that you're right. He does want to go and do away with reporting monthly. But the only issue with that is we still got ADP and all those other companies that report.
well,
Somebody's
Right.
still going to get those numbers. Now, are we going to believe the ones from ADP, which is reputable, or are we going to believe the ones from, what's his name, Eugene or whatever the hell you called him?
E.G. Anthony.
E.G. Anthony.
E.J. Anthony.
I'm glad Trucker brought that up. Because Moody sends out surveys to corporations out throughout the country. And whenever they do that, they ask specific questions about their payroll and their employment levels and what have you. And so Moody sent out their latest survey to corporations, and there's been a 53% return on those surveys. It says there's a reduction in payroll because of layoffs. And and Moody says that that's a direct indicator that the country is headed to a recession within the next 6 months.
I think that's a fair bet. I mean, you can't do this much damage to an economy and not expect some kind of recession.
Right. Think about Target, right? Target is getting sued right now as we speak because they allegedly violated the WARN Act. They laid off, 150 or 1,500 people without any notice. And they didn't.
And let me add on to that, though, that Walmart, I heard that they talking about closing 125 stores. So that's going to cause more employees to get laid off. What?
Well, I can only hope that every one of those 125 stores is in a red county.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Way to blame the Democrats.
But like Mama Beth was talking about, these people can get kicked in the ass, stolen from, cheated, lied to, and they still support Donald Trump. So the only thing I can say is if you're a Republican and you're suffering because of what Donald Trump has done, good. Fucking enjoy it.
Right.
You ain't lying, Mike.
You're right, Mike, because
because one thing I've learned, you cannot change grown people's level of thinking. You can't do it. As long as we know the truth, that's it.
Yeah.
There was a lady that was talking about what C. Temptation just spoke about, the Walmart closing.
Yeah.
Right.
The reporter asked her, he says, well, what are you going to do? The next closest store is 50 miles.
Wow.
And her response was, well, I guess I'll have to drive 51 miles.
100. You got to go back, too.
Make America great again.
Well, gas is only $1.99 a gallon, so go ahead.
Yeah, it's only $1.99 a gallon. Fuck.
Have fun.
Donald Trump keeps telling us inflation is non-existent anymore, that he fixed it all. And it came out today. It didn't go up a lot, but it did go up some. In consumer prices, I think, are up 3%, over 3%, or inflation is at 3.1%. It went a little slow this past month because the tariffs hadn't really taken effect. But now that they have, this is going to kind of explode. This is kind of what we've been all talking about. People will say, well, the tariffs didn't do too much. Well, the tariffs haven't really been imposed because he keeps pulling back because he's a chicken shit. And so now with the tariffs in place, the real pain is going to come. It may not come for a couple weeks or 30 days, but as long as those tariffs are in place, the thing with Washington, too, we talk about Donald Trump's distraction, and we look at Washington, D.C. as a distraction to Jeffrey Epstein, and I don't doubt that it is. But I think it was also a distraction for the announcement that came out earlier today that, we're going to give China another 90 days. He doesn't want to be called a chicken, so he wanted to cover that up as much as possible. But Donald Trump, you are a chicken. You're a gutless piece of shit, and you are doing incredible damage to this country, and you will ultimately pay the price for it. People will not tolerate it. Maybe some dumb Trump-fucks will, but the vast majority of people will make you pay.
And let me add this, Mike, when you was talking about the National Guards coming to these different cities. I'm from Chicago. I want them motherfuckers to pull up. Please pull up. Pull the fuck up, because I guarantee you don't want to fuck with Pritzker. You don't want to fuck with Brandon Johnson. Them fools do not want any of this smoke, though, because they're only going to be here maybe, say, a week, and after that, they out.
Right.
Because when you go especially to the south side and the west side of Chicago, and you got to deal with those gangbangers, they ain't going to fuck with them. They don't want none of that smoke. I'm telling you. I know. I've been here all my life. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they run into some of those bad areas where the gangbangers are out. They don't give a fuck. They're going to fight, and they're going to take a lot of pride in
Oh, they're gonna
fighting.
break out them pew-pews. I know what I'm talking about, Mike. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I know.
They're gonna break out
I
them
know.
pew-pews.
I don't want to see that, but if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing where people have no room to go, it's inevitable. That's going to happen. And it's unfortunate, but what do you do if someone keeps, if you tease a dog long enough, he's going to fucking bite you. That's just the way it is.
Exactly. That's the reason why Pritzker said at the door, he was like, absolutely not. He shut that down. He said no, because he knows legally you cannot mix military with civilians. That is against the law, period. Let him bring him to Chicago and see. You're going to fuck around and find out. I'm telling you.
So, Mike, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, so since we're talking about the military and, cities, what do you think is going to happen when the 30 days are up, right? Because he only can use, you got to go through Congress. Do you think Congress is going to give him that, especially with this big goose egg that they've got?
Well, yeah, I don't. You're right about that. He can only be in D.C. for 30 days. Actually, I heard within 48 hours he's got to
file papers,
inform Congress, and then in 30 days it has to go through Congress. Unfortunately, we still have Republicans controlling the House, and it is a Democratic area, so maybe they don't give a shit. Maybe they don't care, and they vote to do it. But the thing about it is when Donald Trump does shit, he always fucks up. He always looks stupid. And within 30 days, when nothing has happened, how do you justify it?
That's my thing, the big goose egg. I saw a video today where they said the scariest thing I've seen today in D.C., and they turned the camera, it was a lime bicycle. It was unattended. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Get on that shit quick.
Right.
I can see him on the radios now. There's a kid on a bicycle. This looks serious. Let's get that fucking kid. I mean, it's so silly. It's so silly. And I'm expecting, I don't know what to expect out of Washington, D.C. I don't know the city that well. I've only been there a few times. But I got to think when somebody walks into your city and does the things that Donald Trump is doing unwarranted, there's got to be some pushback. Now, I understand there's been a lot of protest in Washington, D.C. in various places. And of course, you don't see it in the media. The media, I'm pretty much done with. If you watch mainstream media, you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
Because there is no mainstream media that is going to tell you everything you need to know, or maybe not even tell you the truth. And I'm talking, I watch MSNBC occasionally just to try to get a feel for what's going on, but I can't trust them. No mainstream media can be trusted at this point.
They don't serve a purpose. The best information is to get is from the internet. That's it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
I don't waste my time with that. I don't. Why should I?
Yeah, there's some fucked up people on the internet, too. The internet is not always your friend. You got to be very discerning about who you listen to and who you believe. I'm going to pull up...
I was going to say perfect segue because British John.
I knew.
Oh, hell.
It must be the end of the live now.
You better know it, teacher.
I always bring up British John. I always bring British John up at the end because, like Donald Trump, I like to instill a little chaos into what we're doing.
I love British John, but oh, hell.
What's up, British John?
Someone just put Midas touch down there. I was given the Midas touch when I was younger, but I was at an all boys school, different time.
Yeah.
This is an interesting moment. This may be the last time I am British John on your podcast.
Really?
Tomorrow is the day. I think, oh, look, John's had a shave. Yeah, I have. Tomorrow I have my final citizenship interview, what they call the N400. And hopefully we'll get a decision immediately.
Oh,
So,
no.
Well, you're lucky because you're
yeah,
white.
that's.
You got that going for you.
So, interesting thing, my attorney, who I engaged 2 weeks ago, I've never used an attorney for any of my immigration stuff, I've just dealt with it myself, has actually had 3 what he called equally vanilla people. 1 got denied, and 2 have been put on review and referral. And normally they would have gone straight through. So
What kind
we have
of
taken out
thing would
of
cause
my.
somebody to be denied? Why would they deny him if he went through the process?
So technically, a DUI is sort of the minimum. Is the minimum.
Really?
The joke used to be. The joke used to be. We're welcome here, but we can be deported for a DUI. That was, and it used to be a joke, but now it's like no longer a joke. And as I have no DUIs. Because we don't have the right of appeal against these things as well. In the same way, if you're on a green card and you get served notice, that's it. You've got 90 days to leave. That's goodbye. So we will see. We actually, here's the politics. And my attorney had me take out 2 letters. One from Zoe Loughran, who is my house member.
Right.
There was a letter from her in the package. That has been removed, a character testimonial. And also one from the Deputy Director of Clandestine Services in the UK. That's been taken out.
Really?
Because Homeland Security and immigration and all that side of government is infested with maggots. Mama Beth, let me just deal with that right now. Yes, I understand the confusion. This is the accent you could have had. It is overwhelmingly powerful and sexy. The answer is 49. Straight. As straight as a British can go. I was going to be either Bo, Duke, or Daisy. I came down on Daisy's side, but I could still, but also married, marriage visa. So, I can be deported. Anyway, so, we will see tomorrow.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Mr. Suave had a very good recommendation in the comments. Master reset your phone before you go.
Just leave it at home or in the car.
That's already happened. That situation's already. Don't worry about that. I have been operating with. I've been having to put my passcode into my phone for the last 7 months. It's kind of a pain in the ass, and tomorrow is no exception. So my face doesn't like open my phone, and my phone's fine about that. The less time it has to look at me, the better.
Don't when you get there, don't promote your social media though, because if they check it out, I've always said that if I wasn't a white guy born in America and somebody checked my phone, I'd be in El Salvador.
Yeah. Bear in mind, everything I said is out there, and you have to assume that they are aware of British John. British John's not my legal name, boys and girls. So you have to assume they've seen every bad thing I've said about the little carroted one. But so tomorrow I'm going to. I could well lose 20% of my vocabulary. Probably the word vocabulary that'll be gone. I will no longer be able to use that or understand.
Probably
certainly not spell it. God help me with maths. I was having problems enough with California's Common Core maths, and my 8-year-old. So now I might have to start using a calculator, or this Mama Beth. This is real. This is so you've never met me before. The joke count is usually a lot higher at this point than it is today.
So is it fair to say you're a little nervous about this?
But British John,
is it fair to say
you're Gen X? You're Gen X, so your math should still be okay.
Oh yeah, I study quantum physics. I'll be fine. But here's the thing: I can remember shit from back then, but working out stuff I did back then is difficult. That's age. But
you're genuinely worried about what's going to happen tomorrow based on the things you've heard?
Yeah, I mean, I was advised beginning of the soccer season, kids' soccer season. So was that Easter?
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
a phone call from one of my intelligence friends back in the UK, advising me not to return to the UK, um, because if I had any issues coming back into the States, there was no cooperation. There would be no special favors anymore. Um,
Wow.
and and he was serious about it, very serious about it. Um, so, yeah, that's why I've not left the country. I was meant to be in Japan a couple of months ago, to speak at a conference, but no, not leaving. We went to Hawaii on vacation. I know, what a horrible compromise,
Yeah, that
having
was
to go to
terrible.
Hawaii, but yeah, we got
Well,
through it. We got through it.
well, John, what happens tomorrow if they say, "Yeah, you're not approved," or "You're under review"? What does that mean to you at that point?
There's no. I was joking about this earlier today. I've only felt fear like this once before, and it was in an armored personnel carrier on a Wednesday morning in Kabul.
Wow.
Um, and it's now we were worried about two things. One was suicide motorbikes, and the other one was that Scottish Mike, who was in seat one, had eaten 3 cans of beans the night before, and it's a
Wow.
very small space. Mm.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
terrifying.
yeah, but that is the last thing. To Liam, and if that's the Liam, I think it is dual. There's no such thing as dual citizenship. You just happen to have two passports. Neither country recognizes the other one as a de facto thing. I will have to give up. I won't have to give up. If I had a title, if I was a Sir or a Lord, I would have to renounce that. But no, I don't. I don't become any less British, and I've been thinking about this for the past couple of months. I'm not going to become any more American either. For the moment, and please, I know this is going to be rude to a lot of you. Please don't feel it this way, but I will be a Californian citizen for the time being. I'm comfortable being Californian. It's gonna take a while to get used to being American, and
Well,
because it means something very different these days.
uh, well, I'll tell you this, British John. I was born and raised in America, lived in America my entire life. I'm 65 years old. And for me, it's hard being an American under the circumstances we're dealing with.
Got that right.
I think we all agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a poem written by a guy called damn it, James Starr, I think. There's a line in it: "California is the USA, only more so." And I've taken a lot of solace in that. If I'm only doing this for my family. Let me be clear about this. This isn't a love of don't take the bad side of this either. I'm doing this purely for my daughter. I had no. It's not that I never wanted to become an American, but because I have to give up my security clearance. Ironically, I have to give up my security clearance because it's called a change of status, and it takes 9 months to get it back.
Right.
And so I never did it before because Daddy likes a paycheck. But
Yeah.
this I'm doing primarily to continue being a dad to my daughter and a husband to my wife, and you know, that's why I'm doing this. There's no other greater good reason. I'm
So,
49. They're not going to be signing me up to go into the army.
no, so if they deny you tomorrow, and I like to think positively, I think you'll be fine, but what do I know? But if they deny you tomorrow, are you then required to leave the country?
My green card, it's highly unlikely. So if that were to happen, if I was to be denied, there's a 30-day review period, and I would bring in, I'd have my house member and everybody else weigh in at that point. We're not messing around. They would not. They don't normally invalidate your green card. My green card is valid until the end of 26.
Okay.
But at that point, so let's just say I have contingencies in place, which are
Okay.
ridiculous. However, I will not be away from my family for very long, and my family will not be in the UK. So, I'm
Are we
one of the
talking
few
about?
people you'll meet. Well, I'm one
Are
of
we
the few
talking about
people
some
that
Jason Bourne shit or what?
what I'm saying is I'm one of the few people you ever meet who've been smuggled into Mexico and not the other way around. I overstayed my visa back after 9/11, and I couldn't afford to get a black mark in my passport. And so I went to Tijuana in the trunk of a car for tacos, and then flew all the way back to Mexico City, back home, and then I was back in New York 3 days later. Well, if I can smuggle myself out,
British
Wow.
John, I got
sense
an
of
extra
kind.
room in my house, and I live out in the sticks. They never find you here.
Yeah, and to be, I mean, I'm not too worried. I'm fine for accommodations. Jay's mom very kindly said I should stay there.
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah,
I
well,
knew that was coming.
my extra room can't compare to that. So yeah, you.
The room's not spacious, but she is.
Wow.
Jay's going to hear this tomorrow and go,
Absolutely. Well, British John, we wish you the best of luck, and please let us know as soon as you know, because I know a lot of people
Yeah,
out here,
there's
and
two. I'm not superstitious, but there are two. There's two 7-second videos on my phone right now. One, but there has to be two. You can't only write the good one. You have to have the bad one as well. Otherwise, you're jinxing yourself. So there's
yeah.
two videos in the phone waiting, and so you'll know
Well,
when
John,
that happens.
send me a DM and tell me what happens.
Yeah, I will. There'll be a TikTok story. That's your encouragement to follow me if you aren't already. There'll be a TikTok story at some point after 3 p.m. Pacific. But my wife, we are taking this very seriously, by the way, boys and girls. So I will be wearing I'll be wearing my old military watch because I have to in these. It's my good luck charm. I'll also be wearing this shirt that I proposed in and was married in. And my daughter was wearing when my daughter was born. There's no two ways about it. That's not why I've lost all the weight, but it fits really well. And I will have my wife will have my cell phone. I will have my Apple Watch with no strap in my pocket, and there is an AirTag in my shoe. That's how seriously we take it, boys and girls.
Wow.
There is an AirTag in my shoe, so yeah, we're not messing around. This is. And let me just. We've spoken about all the DC stuff. I wanted to talk about the DC thing and how. What is. So I'll do the joke second. The fact that they're currently now going to investigate 8 of the Smithsonian museums to make sure that the content of the museum reflects only positively on America and its current values. We've just gone full Tim Pot. We've just decided that's where we're going to go. The fact that the right aren't in arms about that, if that's not overreach, I don't know what is. But here's where I'm disappointed. And MAGA, prove me wrong. Why aren't you all on the streets right now in DC protecting your second right, your Second Amendment rights? Why aren't you?
Absolutely.
Because you said you needed all those things in case the government turned to tyranny. I remember reading it and hearing about it, boys and girls. Where are you? Come on, out you come. Show us your patriotism. Show it to us.
Simple. They don't understand what tyranny is, and they think the only tyranny that applies is if they try to come take those guns.
Right. Better yet, British John, where are all the Democratic senators, right? And, Democratic Congress people? They should be all over DC right now with their cameras out interviewing, but they're not.
Yeah, definitely. Well, John, we'll be thinking about you.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Thank you very kindly. I was going to. I'm giving them a pass right now. And I was kind of. By the way, TJ, thanks for not kicking me out of the chat. I was having way too much fun with the Bible bashers down there. I'm giving the Democrat. I'm giving the Democratic side of Congress a pass right now because they were forced to go on vacation because Trump doesn't want the thing. I can't wait for them to come back because at some point we're going to run out of peace summits in Alaska. We're going to
Yeah.
run out of da-da-da-da-da-da, and we're going to go back to every single package, every single rules change, every single thing is going to have an Epstein amendment attached to it. They are going to have to deal with it every single day. So I'm not a fan of Cory Booker, but keeping your mouth shut sometimes has a lot of value because you can say a lot more with it when it's ready. Do I like it? No. But we go back to Epstein in 2 weeks? So, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. John, I got to wrap it up here because if I get too long, it gets to be a mess. And I appreciate you coming on. We'll be thinking about you. We wish you the best of luck, and please let us know so I can tell all the people that will be asking me about it. And TJ, he can, and maybe at some point afterwards, British John, maybe you just want to come on the podcast on Zoom and we can talk about that whole process.
Absolutely. Let's get the paperwork signed first. But all positive vibes. No, we have contingencies, but yes. Thank you very much. You're all very kind. Thank you for the kind. I'm seeing all the DMs blowing up on me right now. You're all very kind. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
All right.
John.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you. The panel, C Temptation, Analytical Iowan, Trucker T, Rebecca, TJ the Plumber, everybody else that stepped up, Mama Beth and everybody else. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.
Good night, all.